Hi, I'm David, Vape and Juice TV, and I'm going to talk to you about our top 5 all-day vape tanks. So, what is an all-day vape tank? Well, it's a tank you can vape all day long. So some tanks are great for sitting at home and having big clouds and trying all different types of flavours and liquids. That's what RDAs are good for. But some tanks are just impractical to take out all day. They go for your liquid fast, or they don't work with the liquids you want to vape all day to get your nicotine hit. So we're going to cover 5 great all-day vape tanks. So, number 1. Not number 1, it's not the best all-day vape tank, but it's a great step up for people who've used a starter kit they perhaps bought from a petrol station. In fact, this little jobby fits perfectly on top of an Ego starter kit. So one of the little kits you get from a petrol station, you can screw it straight on top and it immediately turns the experience from having a terrible clearomiser, which just leak and are practically the worst things ever in the world, into a much better vape. It doesn't have anything like airflow, but it has a bottom vertical coil, which means it's a little bit easier to vape, and well, they're just much better than using a clearomiser. It's a great step up. So if you've got a basic starter kit and you want to get slightly more oomph and a better flavour, and you don't want to spend too much money, grab yourself one of these, the Aspire K1 glassomiser. Oh, and they don't leak either, so that's already a win. So next up, the guys from Innokin have brought out the T18 tank. Well, I say they brought it out, it's been out for quite a while. In fact, you might recognise it, the Prism tank, on a lot of their starter kits. What's good about it? Well, it doesn't leak, and it has a good little system that when you change the coil, it's a leak-free swap. So with some of the coils, some of the early tanks, when you take the coils out, you get the gang coil over your hands. This one here, turn it upside down, you pull it out from the base, bin it, shove a new one in, tighten it back up, job's a good one! And you can fill it up from the top as well, which is pretty good again, because it means it's easier to fill up without having to take the coil out. So that's number 2, that's the T18E tank from Innokin. Innokin again. So number 3, we're going to go with the Innokin Zenith tank. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's this little thing. Zoom in close. Probably hasn't focused. It's got adjustable airflow, which makes it better than some of the other T-series tanks that Innokin produce. So it means you can adjust the draw, you can get a bit more cloud. With more airflow, you get a bit more cloud and a bit of a better flavour production. It has top fill, which is, you can see at the top, you might not be able to see it. You just unscrew the top, or without taking the top off, bung your needle tip inside and close it up. Really easy, and it's messy free. Again, it's got a non-get your hands dirty coil replacement system, because you unscrew the bottom, like so, pull the coil out, like this, bin it, whack a new one in, and it doesn't get so dirty. What's good about that as well is the Zenith has about 3 different types of coils, so you can use a mouth to lung juice, like a starter juice, if you want a higher nicotine level, like a 12 or an 18 or something, that you perhaps don't get in a short fill high VG liquid, you can use it for that. And when you're using more of a mouth to lung coil, that's a coil you can use all day, like a 1.5 or 1.2. It uses a lot less power, that means your battery lasts longer. And that's why it's a great all-day tank, because you haven't got to recharge your battery. So, the Zenith tank, number 3. Number 4, the Aspire Cleito Pro. So the Cleito range has a number of different versions, and they're very good for flavour production and cloud production. This little chap, the Cleito Pro, uses some of the old coils, so if you've got any lying around you can reuse them, or if you go into a shop that doesn't have the specific coil for the Cleito Pro, which is a mesh, and I'll cover that in a second, you can use those other coils, like the EXO coils. That's really versatile and that's really useful. It's got fantastic airflow, but what makes it a great feature is it uses a mesh coil, which is a wide flat surface. The mesh surface with this larger surface area means more vapour production, more flavour. Now the Cleito have always had good flavour, so a better coil that produces better flavour, well, that's a winner in our eyes. Before I discuss the winner, I'm going to talk to you about the Nautilus 2 S tank. They haven't yet got them in individual boxes for us to show you on the camera, so I'm going to show it to you in person. Now, the Nautilus 2 S tank is a rehash of a very early series of Aspire tanks called the Nautilus, which were great for all-day vapors. They work very well with higher PG liquids. When you vape something a 6 or a 12 or an 18 milligram, generally going to be a higher PG liquid. And then they stopped making them because the rules on e-cigarette tanks changed, which meant they brought out some other versions, the Nautilus 2 they called it, and it just wasn't good enough. It leaked, it was complicated to fill up. They realised people just don't like the tanks, the Nautilus 2 tanks, so they've created the Nautilus 2 S tank, which effectively has the same build system as the very early Nautilus tanks. That to us is going to be a future all-day vape winner. Haven't yet got in the box, which is why it hasn't made the charts. Number 1, the winner, we've got UWell Crown 4 tank. Now the UWell Crown 4 tank is a sub-tank, that means it does produce big cloud. It has a range of a couple of different coils, so you can lower the power, still get vape, still get flavour and cloud without nailing your battery as much as if it was a 0.1. But what's great about this tank is, and I'm going to show you, out the little box, it looks lovely. That's not the reason. It actually does come with an available 6mm glass you can adapt to it, so you can make a much bigger tank. That's good for all day vaping because you haven't got to keep topping it up. But as we take it out of the box, It's got huge refill sections, so it's mess free. Stick your needle tip down there. It also has a leak-free system, and how the leak-free system works, which I'm going to unscrew the bottom, is it has a hot plate in the base. That means when you screw it all together and you start vaping, it sucks up vapor into the tank, but it also heats the vapor, heats the liquid that hits the bottom plate and evaporates, which means you haven't got juice leaking out the air holes, which happens to a lot of tanks. In fact, the TFB12, which we use for testers in some of our shops, we thought, oh, these would be great, we'll put them in the shops, they're good tanks, and they just leaked like a bad one. So, the UWell Crown 4, it's a nice looking tank, it's easy to get the top off and refill it, doesn't leak out the air holes, and it does have great big whopping fat air holes too. And the vapor and flame production is also pretty good. UWell's a great brand. So that's our winner, it's the UWell Crown 4. That's our 5 all-day vape tanks, plus one Nautilus 2S. Thanks for watching, subscribe to Vape and Juice TV. I've been David.